everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. We're getting close on this. I got all the exhaust manifold studs in. I made a little video on that, how to get those out. I had to take a few off the other car because I had some missing. I had to go to the other car and had to pull off 5 studs. I needed 3 for the motor and I needed 2 for the turbo exhaust housing. Turbo's inside. I didn't want to keep it out here, get all the dirt and debris and dust on it, so it's inside right now. But what I'm gonna do now, I got some oil cooler lines I need to install. These are the lines that run from that oil filter pedestal. This thing right here. This is the oil filter pedestal. There's the lines hook up down below, and then they run underneath, and then they hook up here, and then it goes to the oil cooler right here. So I'm gonna get those installed. I'm gonna do that. Off camera, and then once I get those in, I'm gonna get the turbo all set up and ready, and then I'm gonna film putting the exhaust manifold in, installing the turbo. I've done as much detailing as I can. There's only so much you can do on an engine when it's in here and it has all this stuff on it. I came in here and I'm sure you can see this engine is supposed to be red. It looks pretty red now, which is good. It was pretty much black and covered in oil and dirt. This pipe is actually supposed to be red, but I had to take it off. That's the coolant pipe that comes from the water pump. I took it out last night, cleaned it up really well, and I painted it, and I painted a lot of the other lines. Like, I mean, you see these lines here. These lines aren't supposed to be black, but I used that this paint right here, the Stove Bright. I need to get some more of it. This is the 1990 code for the paint. It's satin black. It looks really nice, and this stuff is very durable. I mean, it can withstand like 1200 degrees temp, so for you non-turbo guys, you can put on your exhaust manifolds and it probably won't burn off. I'm not even going to try to paint the manifold for this car. I mean, a turbo manifold gets so hot, there's no point of even trying to paint it. But yeah, all the turbo lines, coolant lines going to the turbo, they're all painted black. They all look really nice. I came over here last night and I detailed this up as much as I could underneath. You could actually see the block is red again. It was pretty dirty. I serviced the oil separator box down there. I cleaned it out with diesel fuel and just let it flow through. I replaced all the heater hoses, the heater control valve, cleaned up what I could. Idle air control valve hoses, I was going to replace them with the other ones, but the ones that I have were a different setup, so they wouldn't fit. I actually I cut one of them to see if it would work, and it wasn't working. I did take the idle air control valve out and clean that up. It was pretty dirty. The starter doesn't look so great, but it works. I'm not going to mess with it. I'll pull the other starter out of my other car just in case. But yeah, we're getting there. Let me get these lines installed right here, and then I'll get the turbo set up and ready, and then we'll get the manifold and all that on film. So I'll be back to you in a minute, guys. Okay, everybody, I'm under the car. I got the oil lines installed. As you can see, they go in right here. They look nice too. Too bad everything else is dirty as hell. Lines go in here. They squeeze in between the K-member and the motor mount right there. Not the motor mount, but the motor mount, what do you call it? Bracket. Squeezes in between there. Comes out the front here. Comes out the front here. And I had these lines custom made for my other 740 that is no longer running. The Rec 744 Turbo. I had these lines custom made because the lines that were on it were completely just, they were bad. So that, and it's got a I got a eBay oil cooler. It's exactly the same oil cooler that comes with came in these cars, guys. I mean, if you take an oil cooler that came in one of these 740 turbos and compare it to this oil cooler, minus the markings on it that say Volvo and C-Trav and all that, and the part numbers, they are exactly identical. And this thing cost me like $39. the factory intercooler, if you get it from if you get a factory if you get a factory oil cooler from Volvo, one of those, and order one, they're almost $400, which is just ridiculous. It's just a it's just an oil cooler. I don't understand, but yeah, that thing cost me like 39 bucks. I forget the specs on it. I'll have to look up the specs on them, but yeah, that's how much that cost me. All right, let me see if I can get the turbo manifold in here without scratching everything up. That's the hard part. Just squeezing this bad boy in here without scratching anything. Try not to scratch. I'm gonna bump it into you guys. Sorry. This goes over top of that. There it is. Got it. All right, manifold's in. Turbo manifold is in. I'm deleting a few things on this car. I'm simplifying it. I'm gonna be getting rid of the what do you call it? That intake tube, the preheat tube. I'm deleting that. You don't need it. I'm deleting all the covers and everything over here as well. So I gotta put everything at about 15 to 20 foot-pounds. I'm gonna go through and snug them up pretty good again and just feel them out. Yeah, that one's good. I think this one will go a little more. You know what? That feels good right there. I don't want to go any tighter. That feels pretty good where they're at. Now I'm gonna come in here with the turbo and bolt the turbo up. And then after I get the turbo in, I'm gonna get the coolant lines. I can't remember which coolant line goes where, but it's pretty straightforward. I'll know when I get it where it needs to be, because here's the one of the coolant lines right here to feed the turbo. And this is the correct hose for this turbo as well, so this should just go right into the turbo. Let me it's heavy and awkward. Let me slide this under. Try to do this without scratching anything. Oh, she's going right in. What do you think? Look at it, looks good. Nice and clean. A lot better than it was before. Before it was a disaster. There was this oil everywhere and it was a fire hazard. I did not want to even attempt to drive with it like that. So, yeah, looks nice. Let me get this top oil feed line in, and then I can come from the bottom and get the turbo drain line in. All right, I see what's going on. It's got a little bit of carbon buildup on it. Kind of coked oil pretty much on it. So I need to sand that off. That's why it's not going in. I thought it was cross-threading or something. It's not. Yeah. Exactly what it is. You guys can see this. This is like some what do you call it? Coked up oil on there. I need to get that off. I didn't even see that. All right, I think we got it this time. Okay, everybody. I think it's about it. It's almost 6 o'clock in the morning. I've been out here all night. I worked on it all day yesterday and all tonight, all this morning, and I'm tired. It's close. I mean, look at it. It looks awesome. It looks so much better than it did. She's nice and new on the inside. I mean, if you want to check out the turbine here, she's brand spanking new in there. New guts, everything. I cleaned it up really well. I disassembled the whole turbo, took it over to the parts washer, cleaned it all up really, really nicely. I mean, this thing it's nice and clean now. All I gotta do now is hook up the coolant lines for it, run my hoses, what's left, put the intercooler back in, intercooler hoses, intake box. I'm not gonna put the washer fluid tank back in. I'm waiting on two pumps. I had to get 2 new pumps. They were both toast. They wouldn't spin over, so those are on the way. But I can hook up the air box. That's easy to take in and out. And get the new when the new pumps come in, I could throw that in. But yeah, she's about ready to start here soon. I'm gonna start it up tomorrow. Actually, that's my goal. This thing's getting started tomorrow. Hey everyone, it's the next day. Making some progress. I've already done a little bit of work, nothing too crazy. Look what I got installed. Well, I don't have it installed. I just put it in place. I put the intercooler in place. I still got to kind of wiggle it into its spot. It's not quite there yet, but I got all the coolant lines for the turbo hooked up. That'll stay. So we have the coolant lines for the turbo hooked up. The oil lines are hooked up. Actually, this is a coolant line. Oil lines here. The drain lines put in with new seals. Those all new seals everywhere, guys. I got it all put back together. Everything looks pretty nice. Didn't have any issues. I'm about 99% sure everything's plugged back in to where it's supposed to be. All I gotta do now is I gotta put some oil in it, transmission fluid, and I'm just gonna put water in it for now. I'm just gonna put tap water. It's not gonna be in there long, so I'm not worried about it eating anything up or anything. I don't want to put coolant in it. I don't want to put coolant in it and then spring a leak and then have coolant everywhere and just be wasted a bunch of coolant. So we're just gonna put tap water in it. It's only gonna be in there till tomorrow, just to make sure there's no leaks. All right, I'm using some Rotella T5. This is a heavy duty diesel oil. I use diesel oil. I do it in all my cars, especially my turbo cars. I don't have an exhaust, so it's just straight out the turbo, so it's probably gonna be pretty loud, but it shouldn't be too loud. The turbo should muffle the noise, act as a muffler. All right, let's unhook the coil. If I can get this off. I don't want this firing right away. I want the system to prime, get oil circulating through. All right, coil's unhooked. Woo. Oh man, she's stinky. Yeah, she's running, guys. Sounds good. I'll look for leaks here. Make sure I don't have any oil leaks or anything. She's definitely smoking. I mean, that's to be expected. Anytime you throw an engine back together like that, and a turbo system and everything, you're gonna we're gonna have some smoking. Woo! I don't see any leaks. That's good. Thing looks clean. No leaks. Well, no leaks yet. You could get leaks when it gets hot. You never know. But yeah, she sounds good. So yeah, I'm gonna have to investigate on that fuel leak. I know where the fuel leaks are at. There's two small ones in the back. I tightened them up, but they're still leaking. I don't want to tighten them anymore. I'm gonna have to take the line out and just see what's going on. That's why with these older cars, you want to carry a fire extinguisher with you, because you never know, something could happen, especially after you do a build like this and getting something back on the road. You could have a fire happen and burn your car to the ground you just spent a lot of time on. So yeah, we got it running, guys. I mean, I already had it running before, but everything sounds good. She's idling high, but I expect that idle to come down as it warms up and, you know, gets into its zone. But yeah, I'm happy with it. That's gonna do it for this video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. All right, everyone. I'm gonna throw this in on this video at the last second. I just have to. I've been racking my brain around this all day. I mean, all freaking day while I was out getting parts and just doing other things, and you'll see why I'm so happy. Let me hook the light up for you, actually. So this thing has been not wanting to idle. I get this plugged in. This thing has not been wanting to idle. It's just been surging idle all over the place. Can't make up its mind. Doesn't know what it wants to do. It's just been idling between like 1,000 and 2,500. Just doesn't know what it wants to do. I've done everything. Vacuum leaks, cleaned the idle air control valve, all sorts of stuff. Took the throttle body back off, went through that. Replaced some O-rings, some other gaskets I fixed. I couldn't figure it out. And then I went inside, and it's late, guys. It's like almost 5 in the morning again. Like, I've been racking my brain around this for a while. All of a sudden it just hit me. I'm like, this car sat for 15 years. I bet you the ECU, I mean, just looking at the ECU, it looked fine. I'm like, I bet you the ECU's just got damage to it. It got water damage or something. So I started thinking, I was like, I think I have a spare ECU. And the ECU in my wreck car is not going to work because that's for LH 2.4. This is an LH 2.2 car. So I knew that ECU wasn't any good. And then I looked up what the ECU number that this car would need. And I was like, I think I have a spare ECU. I couldn't remember if I sold it or not. And I started looking for it, and I found it. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I hope that's what it is. And I swapped out the ECUs, and I mean, you'll see. So here's the old ECU. If you look in there, let me get you in some light. If you look, this old ECU is got all corrosion in it, all the connections here. So I bet you the inside of this thing's trash. And it was a junkyard ECU too, out of an 89 740 turbo. So this car's been worked on. So you see that part number? Bosch 0280 000 541. I had another one of these inside. I had one inside. So I went and I got it. Took me 2 minutes to swap it out. It's over there on the floor. You can't see in here. It's kind of dark. But check this out. It runs absolutely amazing. Check out those RPMs. 900 RPM. That's right where this car should be. Idle's perfect. Idle's absolutely perfect now. Sounds great. I'm beyond excited. I mean, that's That's a huge hurdle right there. I was going insane trying to figure out what it was because it was just baffling me. Got no vacuum leaks. Every vacuum line's been replaced. Gaskets have all been replaced. The only gaskets that haven't been replaced are the head gasket and the valve cover gasket. That's it. Everything else has been replaced. This is the original fuel pressure regulator that was on the car when I got it. It works fine. But yeah, I racked my brain around it for the last couple days and finally figured it out. It just all of a sudden clicked. And I'm so glad I had that ECU. And I got that ECU at the junkyard out of a wrecked, I believe it was an 88 740 turbo. Same as this, it's 88. So it's got the LH 2.2. And the thing with these LH 2.2 motors, or just the Bosch system, that LH 2.2, there's no check engine lights, believe it or not. So they're pretty simple. It's nothing too crazy. It's just a air mass meter, mass airflow sensor, whatever you want to call it, air mass meter. You got an idle air control valve, and you got a throttle positioning sensor and an O2 sensor. And that's pretty much everything that runs the motor. Well, the biggest thing that runs the motor is the ECU, and that was the problem. Well, guess what? The problem's fixed. The car runs great. Now I can concentrate on everything else. It runs really well. I got the brake master cylinder swapped out. The brake booster was fine. I thought there was something wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. So I gotta bleed the brakes, get this thing on the ground, and I might take it for a little spin tomorrow. We'll see. So I think that's going to do it for this video this time. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.